She was home, and I still found a way to feel alone. Now every room I walk through reminds me I destroyed the place my heart called home. I used to think losing people happened when they packed a bag and walked away. But sometimes you lose somebody while they're standing right beside your face. She was looking at me asking, are you okay? I said yeah, like I always did. Funny how the people that love you deepest get hurt by the things you never admit. I had a war behind my eyes, but I kept my mouth shut. I called it being strong, when really I was scared as fuck. She saw every crack in me. I tried to cover with a smile, and she stayed through every storm when she could've left 1,000 times. I didn't know how rare that was. I thought she'd always be there. That's the stupid thing about love. You don't count the oxygen until you're gasping for air. She knew my silence had a story. She knew my anger wasn't hate. She knew every time I pushed her back I was really asking her to stay. But you can't keep testing someone's love and call it proof when they survive. Eventually the person holding you together gets tired of holding up your life. And I remember that night, her eyes were different, not angry anymore. That's what scared me. Anger means there's still something left to fight for. She looked at me like she'd already mourned me while I was standing in front of her alive. She said, I can't keep saving someone who keeps trying to drown. I wanted to tell her I was broken, but the words never made a sound. So I watched her grab at things while my pride stood in the doorway. I could have said, please don't go. I just stood there like a coward. Now I replay every second like my mind's got no escape. The coffee cup she used to hold, the picture hanging crooked in the frame. The hoodie she left behind still smells like yesterday. And I swear sometimes I hear her footsteps when the whole damn house is quiet. I walk into the kitchen and instinctively look toward the chair. Then reality hits me harder because nobody's sitting there. I still turn to tell her something when something happens in my day. Then I remember she's not here, and watch that thought fade away. She was home, not the house, not the walls, not the bed, not the keys beside the door. She was the place I could finally breathe when life made me forget how. And I didn't understand it until she became a memory. That's the cruelest lesson life ever gave me. Sometimes you don't recognize a blessing until it's standing on the other side of goodbye. I spent years chasing everything I thought would make me feel complete. Money, recognition, validation, anything to prove that I was somebody. But she never needed me to prove a thing. She just wanted the man behind the mask, and I was so busy building the future I forgot to protect what I had. Now people ask me, why don't you love again? How the hell do I explain that I'm still trying to forgive myself for the last person I loved? Because losing her hurt, but knowing I helped cause it hurt worse. That's the part nobody tells you. Sometimes heartbreak isn't, I wish they never left. Sometimes I wish I had become better before they gave up on me. And if you're listening right now, thinking about somebody you pushed away, don't wait until their name becomes a memory to finally understand their value. I learned that too late. She was home, and I was too busy fighting my demons to notice she was the one keeping them from winning. I thought I lost a woman, until I realized I lost the place where I felt like myself. And that's the part I can't escape. started talking to the ceiling, 'cause the ceiling never leaves. Funny how an empty room can make a grown man beg to breathe. I keep a number in my phone, I never press call, 'cause what's the point of hearing hello when I already know the hardest part is goodbye? I saw her in the grocery store yesterday, or maybe it was just somebody with her hair. For half a second my heart forgot that she wasn't there. That's what memories do, they make the past feel present, just long enough to break you before they disappear again. I wanted to hate her for leaving, it would've made this easier. I wanted to call her selfish, say she never really loved me. But deep down, I knew the truth, she loved me longer than I deserved. She didn't leave because she stopped caring, she left because caring was destroying her. And that realization cuts deeper than abandonment. I remember all the little things I never thought I'd miss. Her stealing half my food, her laughing when I couldn't dance, her asking if I slept enough when I told her I was fine, her knowing something was wrong before I even knew it myself. I miss the ordinary, that's the part nobody prepares you for. You don't miss the movie nights as much as you miss somebody saying, did you lock the door? You don't miss the vacations as much as you miss their voice from the other side of the room. You don't miss the photographs, you miss who you were when those photographs were taken. I became somebody I don't recognize after she left. I started winning things that didn't feel like victories. People started noticing my name, they heard the confidence in my voice, they saw the comeback. They didn't see the nights I sat alone wondering if success was just another way to distract myself from regret. Everybody loves the comeback story until they find out the comeback was built from pieces. Nobody saw me lose. I smile when they ask me how I'm doing, I say I'm good. It's amazing how two words can hide an entire funeral. I buried the version of me that thought love would always wait. I buried the man who thought apologies could undo time. I buried every I'll change tomorrow, because tomorrow eventually became the day she walked away. And maybe that's what growing up is, realizing nobody owes you forever, just because they once promised they never leave. People change, people get tired, people reach their limit, and sometimes love doesn't die. Sometimes love survives, but the relationship doesn't. That's a harder truth to accept. I still wonder what she's doing. Does she wake up happy? Does she ever think about me? Does she hear a song and remember the nights we spent driving nowhere? Does she ever pass our old street and slow down? Or did she finally become free the moment she stopped carrying me? I hope she did. That's how I know I'm healing, because there was a time when I wanted her to miss me. Now I just want her to be okay, and that's painful, because loving someone from a distance means accepting that their happiness might have nothing to do with you. I used to think being abandoned was the worst thing that could happen. Now I understand, sometimes the worst thing is being loved completely and still becoming the reason someone has to save themselves. She gave me chances, I didn't know her chances. She gave me warnings, I called arguments. She gave me patience, I mistook for permanence. And when she finally went quiet, I thought she was losing interest. No, she was losing hope. That's the difference. I wish I knew that then, I wish I understood. Then I'm tired wasn't an invitation to argue harder, it was a goodbye wearing a warning label. Now I'm trying to become the man she believed I could be. Not to get her back, but because she was right about me. Maybe that's the strangest part, she left, and somehow her absence became the mirror that finally forced me to look at myself. I can't change the night she left, I can't rewrite every careless word. just need her to know that the man she tried to save finally started saving himself. Because she taught me something I couldn't learn from success. You can build a beautiful life and still destroy it if you don't know how to love the person standing beside you. And maybe that's my punishment, remembering exactly what I had after I finally learned its worth. She was home, I just didn't know I was already home until I was standing outside with nowhere left to go. I don't blame her anymore. I used to wake up angry, asking how somebody could love me and still choose to leave. Now I wake up understanding that sometimes leaving is the last way somebody can love you. She didn't abandon me. She abandoned the version of us that was slowly killing both of us, and I had to sit with that. No distractions, no excuses, no pointing fingers, just me and the man staring back at me in the mirror. Finally had nowhere to hide. I realized I spent so much time trying to prove I was strong that I forgot strength isn't never falling apart. Strength is admitting you need to rebuild. So I started rebuilding, not loudly, nobody saw it. There was no crowd, no applause, no camera, just me waking up and choosing not to become the person my pain wanted me to be. Some mornings I still miss her, some nights I still reach for a memory that isn't there. But I don't chase the past anymore, 'cause the past can't give me what I refused to protect when I had it. I learned to sit with silence. I learned that loneliness isn't always punishment. Sometimes loneliness is where you finally hear yourself. And I heard everything, every lie I told myself, every apology I never gave, every time she needed me. And I was too consumed with fighting battles in my own head to notice she was bleeding too. I thought my demons were my excuse. They were my responsibility. And that's a hard thing to say when you're used to blaming the darkness for every scar left. But healing started when I stopped asking, why did she leave me? And started asking, why did I give her so many reasons to? That question changed everything, because accountability hurts before it heals. It strips away the story you tell everyone else and leaves you alone with the truth. And the truth was simple. She loved me, I loved her, but love without growth can become a beautiful thing that slowly turns into a wound. I know that now. I know that some people come into your life to stay forever, and some come into your life to show you what forever was supposed to feel like. She showed me patience. She showed me loyalty. She showed me what it meant to have somebody see the worst parts of you and still look for the good. And I showed her how exhausting it can be to love somebody who hasn't learned how to love themselves. I wish I could apologize without making it about me, because even saying I'm sorry can become selfish when you're only saying it because you want forgiveness. So I don't need her forgiveness, I need to live differently, that's the apology. Every day I choose better, every time I communicate instead of shutting down, every time I stay instead of running, every time I admit I'm hurting instead of turning pain into anger. That's me saying sorry without asking her to hear it. Maybe she'll never know, maybe that's okay. Some lessons don't come with happy endings, some lessons come with empty rooms and memories that refuse to die. But even those lessons can save your life. I used to think my greatest loss was losing her. Now I realize my greatest loss would have been losing myself after she left. So I fought not against her, not against the world, against the part of me that believed I was permanently broken. And slowly I started coming back, I was remembering myself. Maybe that's what she would have wanted. Not for me to stay broken just because she was gone. Not for me to spend my whole life punishing myself for yesterday. She would have wanted me to grow, so I took every regret and turned it into wisdom. Every scar and turned it into proof. Every lonely night and turned it into a conversation with the man I was becoming. And if you're hearing this with somebody's name stuck inside your chest, I need you to understand something. Don't wait until the funeral to appreciate the flowers. Don't wait until the goodbye to say what matters. Don't wait until somebody leaves to become the person they begged you to be. Because sometimes the hardest thing about losing somebody is realizing they weren't asking for perfection. They were asking for presence. They didn't need you to fix everything. They needed you to stop disappearing when things got difficult. I understand that now, too late, but I understand. And if I ever see her again, I won't ask her to come home. I'll thank her for every chance, every lesson, every uncomfortable truth, every piece of herself she gave me before she had to choose herself. Because she was home, and losing home taught me how to build one inside myself. So no, I'm not the same.